My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today it's time for everyone's favorite segment. That is the What We're Watching segment that everyone seems to love so much, where we just talk about all the stuff we've been watching since the last time we talked about all the stuff we've been watching. So, that's, listen, y'all out there love this, so we're here to deliver more of that fresh, hot content that you're into, that everyone needs to know.
I mean, it's different every month, so...
That's true. There's always something different. So who would like to start this month? Who would like to go first, talking about all the hot shows that they're watching, all the hot gas on the hot shows?
I can. We can go reverse age. I've actually been watching lots of things. I don't know how. I've been doing it in bits. In bits mostly. I do feel like there was a couple days there. Oh, yeah. I was feeling poorly for a couple days physically, to where I just sat there and watched shows. That was convenient.
So I started a crap ton of shows. I'm not finishing any of them. I dropped most of them, but still, I started like 8.
An attempt was made.
Yeah.
Attempt was made. I'll kick off with the one that I did binge the crap out of. Chinese show, You Are the Miracle, which the title of it does not give you any hint as to what on earth it is about.
Shocker.
You Are the Miracle is actually about, like, police people. It's a rivals to friends to lovers type scenario, and they meet when they are in police academy. And I guess I should be specific. It is a girl and a guy. This is not a BL. It is, I guess it's a Chinese, so I guess we should have already known that. But I'm just clear.
You never know it's supposed to be, but right now, we see.
Yeah, and I did like it. I think I was in a very easy to please mood. Probably just because I thought the rivals thing was fun, and I just kind of let them get away with a lot of stupid plot stuff when there could have been other moods I could have been in where I would have dropped it very quickly because of the stupid plot stuff, but I just went along with it and didn't care. They also made the female lead seem incompetent a fair bit, or maybe a little too emotional. Like, there were actually I had a lot of issues with the show, but there weren't, like, any bad issues to speak of as far as, like, objectionable, horrific things that went down. Just saying. I'm not sure I would recommend it necessarily. I had fun with it, though. Don't know why. I just did. There was definitely you thought memory was lost. There was a lot of gaslighting. I will say that. There was people that knew memory wasn't lost, and people that should have known memory wasn't lost but weren't told, and there was a lot of that. But for some reason it was a little soapy, and I had a good time with it.
You know, sometimes you need one of those,
Yeah.
As long as you're enjoying it.
No shame.
I did wish they would let the female lead be smarter, because she was, and that was the whole thing. They were rivals to get, like, this one precious, like, police position when they were in police academy, and he was, like, the smart one, right? The smart one with not much personality, really. And she was the one that thought with her fists, essentially, which I always like those types of characters. But they just kept, like, doubling down the entire series on, like, making her not think, which is not ever fun to see a female character do. I mean, I don't really like that of any character, but I always feel a little more cringy when it's a female lead character, I think. Anyway, it was fun for me. Maybe it'll be fun for you. I don't know. But know that it's kind of messed up.
This is your warning.
That's your warning. I binged very quickly through it because, yeah. The other C-drama that I picked up, I should have grouped my stuff better. Love Scenery. Just the other day I picked up Love Scenery. I don't know if I'll keep with it. I don't know why it's called Love Scenery. It doesn't really go with what's going on. Essentially, there is a star. The female lead is like a star musician. And the male lead is a computer science type major. He's still in school, but he's just really good at gaming. And she somehow needs to figure out how to play this game, this online multiplayer shoot 'em up game. And so they have a mutual friend that like she's trying to get help because she needs to learn this game in order to like sponsor it or something. And she's really trying, but she just sucks really bad at it. And he's just really good. And so I'm about 2 episodes in. There's not much going on. But definitely tries to show gameplay, but gameplay so far just at the very beginning it looked like him pretty much being in Call of Duty, like the actual actor being in Call of Duty. But then once the 2 leads start playing together, it looked like they were in a 007 show. Like she was in a dress and he was in a suit. It was just kind of funny. Like so far it's just kind of silly. I don't know if I'll keep with it, but that's that. I need to
what it is sometimes.
Okay. Before I picked up the police show that I just breezed through, I picked up the cdrama Love in Time.
Oh, I'm watching that one too.
How far are you? I'm not going to do any spoilers.
I'm on episode 18.
Let's see what episode I'm on here. Because I stalled out at some point. 17. I got to 17 and I stalled out.
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
It's a trip. A lot of it is very questionable. But like, listen.
None of it really makes sense. It really doesn't.
Like, so basically
contract marriage. We'll preface that. It is a contract marriage show.
Which is literally the only reason why I pick it up, because you know me, sucker for
contract marriage with childhood friends, which I thought was a nice spin on that.
Yes.
That's why I picked it up.
And she is the daughter of a lingerie conglomerate owner, and she was mocked for being the daughter of a lingerie company
the queen of lingerie
as a child, and she was also overweight as a child, barely. Like, you know how, listen, overweight.
Asian overweight.
Yeah,
Asian
like
drama, overweight.
Overweight is just like, you know,
you still fit 2 of her into my
your body
pants.
can survive.
Got
calories to feed off of.
And then everyone made fun of her. So she doesn't want anything to do with lingerie. She wants to write online novels. But her dad keeps foiling her attempts to, like, be an online novelist somehow.
I never understood that part.
Like, I was like, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. And apparently they made a deal that if she didn't bring home a husband in 3 years, she had to stop writing online novels and take over the lingerie business.
See, this makes so much sense, right?
And she only has 48 hours to find a husband. Oh my god.
She didn't know this deadline was coming up?
No,
like,
it's just... Okay, so she was like, I thought we were kidding, but she had signed a contract about it, so it was like... Usually it's not so much kidding.
Here's what I did like. You can tell straight away that even as kids, he had a crush on her.
Yeah. And it's really cute. Like, and I must say that they have good chemistry. The 2 actors, once they're romantic, you know, it's very sweet. But
there's a lot of stupid stuff that happens.
Yeah, and like they really make him seem like more of a dick than he actually is. And like in the first episode, they make him seem like such a dick, and then they retcon it all by like episode 3. They're like, oh, he's not actually like.
I'm bored with this. Let's just drop it.
We don't want him to be mean anymore.
But then, like, they eventually get to the point that it kind of seems, you know, romantic feelings start happening, but like jealousy whenever they're not really in a relationship yet type stuff, so that it just becomes a mess. You know, the jealousy mess that happens with that. And well, you're legally my wife. Well, we're gonna divorce in a year. Blah blah blah. Like, well, this is just a big mess.
And then they don't like introduce a second male lead until like way into the show, like way later than would be appropriate. And it's just like, oh, buddy, you don't even stand the remotest of a chance. But it's actually kind of funny because that guy who plays the second male lead, is also playing the second male lead in another Chinese show that I'm watching. So I was like, what? Like, whiplash.
Now, the female second lead is horrific. Like,
she's the worst.
She acts very well. Her character is, they make her like
nightmare.
very villainous and just ridiculous to where
Like,
it's
to
like,
the point where no self-respecting woman, because like,
would ever do any of these
ever do
things.
any of these things, because like she's she's a well-to-do, like, you know, successful woman, and it's just like, no, she wouldn't waste her time with this nonsense.
Did you guys ever watch that Delicious Destiny?
Mm-mm.
The second female lead in that literally cuts her own brakes and becomes paralyzed to get the lead.
No.
I've seen that.
No, that's not
I've
my
seen that
type of
exact
drama.
same.
No,
Woman.
no.
I've seen that
out.
exact same move in a different show, though.
I mean,
It was
I've
crazy.
seen the
Yeah.
I will threaten to kill myself to, you know, I've
Yeah,
seen
like,
that
we've
way
all
too many times. But I was like, you cut your own brakes. Like, it wasn't even like you. What? You could have died. Like,
I've seen with the crazy one I saw, it was she needed to just go to physical therapy in order to regain like how to walk. And she would just like not take her medicine, not do that because she continued to want to like depend on him. So bad. And that was I was so new to dramas when I was watching that, and I didn't know what like the soapy ones were. I had only seen the less soapy ones. So I was just heartbroken, and the emotional roller coaster when you're not prepared for a soapy show is really funny. Now I laugh at it, but at the time I was afraid of dramas for a while after that
Scarred
show. Anyway, I do actually enjoy Love in Time,
It's cute.
but the second leads were getting on my nerves, so that's why I just switched to something else for a while.
How many episodes are in it? Are you like almost done?
24.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 24.
episodes.
So I'm to
You're like
17.
on the home stretch.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, at this point...
And I saw reviews that were like, that's pretty much, it gets frustrating for a few episodes. And I was like, I'm going to take a break for a while and I'll come back. And I will, because their
They're
chemistry is
cute.
really good.
Yeah.
And I liked how they were, and they show when they were childhood friends and how he would stick up with her and stuff. And I like those types of things. So that's what made the contract marriage thing even more endearing to me to want to watch it. Picked up a Japanese drama on Viki. Love Phantom.
Oh, that's on my list. Is it good?
Yes.
That was a really long
quite a
pause.
silence.
That was a really long
I've
pause.
really been trying to figure out how I feel about it, because I feel like, and I don't want to be lame and just throw all the J dramas that I've ever seen and be like, it's similar to these, but it kind of is. It has a bit of coffee and vanilla in it, is the thing.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
But it also has the Nei Sensei vibes a little bit too. Like,
Sounds
it's really
very much
Ooh.
what like Vicky would pick up, because
Yeah.
Vicky likes to pick up the same J dramas.
the way it's coffee and vanilla is the fact that the male lead is a fair bit older than the female lead, who is very innocent, and it's obvious that he hasn't had a romantic relationship before either. They both work at the same hotel. He's worked there forever. The Phantom thing is, he pretty much just works all the time, so he's like the Phantom of the hotel is what they say. That's why they say that. There is a kiss like in the first episode when they don't even know each other, so that's how that all kicks off. To me, the coffee and vanilla vibes are kind of that, like him being older, him having authority, essentially, even though she works in a cafe, which is not under his jurisdiction, like he works in a separate part of the hotel. But it's obvious that in life, he knows what's up, she doesn't, in general. The way it feels like Nei Sensei to me, though, is pretty much it's obvious that he likes her because she's a very tender person, and he needs that, and he knows he needs that, and he pretty much says it. And so, even though you have some of it seems like the male, like, teaching the innocent female how to have a relationship type thing.
He doesn't know what he's doing either.
He doesn't know what he's doing either, but also, like, there's a tenderness there, and he's very aware that's what he needed in his life, and he keeps saying that to her type thing. So, like, because she just goes, why do you work so hard? And this was even before they had agreed to, like, be boyfriend, girlfriend. Why do you work so hard? Like, someone else can do some of these things. And for a quiet, innocent character to, like, kind of be mad at him for working so hard. And he goes, I couldn't live otherwise. So like he admits he's a workaholic essentially. And then he realizes she already cares about me and we're not even in a relationship. So that's why I liked that building block of it. But I feel like the second lead gets introduced, the third lead gets introduced. There's going to be jealousy, I'm sure, and it's going to feel a little bit like Coffee and Vanilla, I have a feeling. Like, it kind of wants to go a little bit darker like the Coffee and Vanilla thing, it seems like. But, I don't know. There's a little bit of tenderness there that I thought was really cool. So that's, it's one a week. I guess that's usually the J-drama thing, right? Isn't that kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, short, easy, kind of have no clue. You know, like, for instance, they live together really quickly and it's like shenanigans. Of course they do.
I find that happens a lot on J-dramas. Like, in the romance ones, it's like, oh, we gonna live together like 2 episodes into this.
Oh, well, it's more like, you know, the landlady's like, hey, I'm selling this off. Like, oh, your boyfriend's here, go live with him. And then it's like, awkward. Okay, I guess so. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely probably a more bingey one. If it ends up staying really good, it would probably be a better one to binge than what I'm doing to myself with it.
We've all been ruined for the serial. Like, I can't do, like, it's stressful now.
Sell Your Haunted House. I'm really enjoying it. Last I looked, all caught up. I don't know why it ended. Not ended. It looks like it took a break.
Missed, like,
There
one
was
day
a
or something, right?
Yeah, because Darkhold did it as well. So like
Okay.
next week will be the last episode.
Which is
So-
perfect because my sister and I started watching it together on Cast, and like we've been trying to catch up. So we like actually might get caught up in time to like watch the final episode when everybody else does. So
I'm like 6 episodes behind because I got distracted by other things.
I tried to make myself not keep up with it too much, and then I just binged a lot of it. And then I was like, oh, it's not over yet. That's
I like
unfortunate.
binged it. I picked it up and I was like, oh, I like this. And it was just done. I had to force myself because I don't want to watch just the one episode next week. So I'm forcing myself to watch the 15 and 16 and not 15 this week and then wait the one.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Because I know
So-
K-dramas is probably not going to really work out that well.
No,
just
you're
with
gonna
the
want it
episode
immediately.
16.
You're gonna want it immediately.
Now, like, Katie asked me, how spooky is it? And so I was trying to, now I'm going to be real. For someone like me, there are jump scares. Even in episode 1, there's jump scares.
yeah.
Now, for people that are used to that, you probably don't feel like a lot of that's jump scares. But like, definitely in first episode, I was like, whoa, like that was a thing.
I think if you get scared easily, you will get scared on the show. And there are comedic characters, but the show is not comedic. So there's not, you're not going to have anything to break it up to. Mystic Pop-Up Bar is a comedy compared to this.
Yeah.
Like this is
Right.
closer.
Definitely.
Like I
It
would say
feels
this
more
is like
like-
closer to like Ghost Whisperer, or not Ghost Whisperer,
Ghost Detective?
Ghost Detective. Like I think that, and then not because when it goes dark, it goes dark.
Yeah.
So
But
But it's
that's
nice
where I
because
would
it's not
worry.
always dark either. Like not all the ghost stories are
No,
as dark as
but they're not
sometimes
like
you think
funny.
they're gonna be, or
Yeah.
no, they're not funny
So-
stories.
If
I
you
wanted
need
to
that
say-
funny to break your like tension, you're not going to get that with this show.
Yeah, the ghosts are never funny. Like, so you know, you don't get, oh, there's this one comedic ghost. No, like, you're not going to get that. Now, you're going to get, kind of like on Taxi Driver, some of the serious plots are less devastating than others.
Yeah.
Same thing with the ghosts.
Devastating in a different way.
Yeah.
Or
So the ghosts in Sell Your Haunted House, some are much more sad or a little scarier or a little creepier or maybe more complex than others. Like, and that's kind of nice. There's a lot of variety to it.
And the
But-
ghost design is dark. Like it's like
it is.
And
Yeah.
I actually do think there are probably people that cannot handle it.
I do
mean,
think so too. I think if you come in like being like, I like something like Mystic Pop-Up Bar and I can do that,
But
and you're not a
think
scary
if you-
person, I don't think
If
so.
you've watched like Bring It On Ghost and like Master's Son and stuff, feel like you can probably handle this too.
If
Like
you,
I
would say bring it
sometimes
on
watch,
Ghost,
you
but
know,
just the Ghost part, not the comedy.
Yeah.
So-
like saying if you can handle those ghosts, you can probably handle these ghosts. Like scare wise, I sometimes watch the corner of my eye. I know there's going to be like, you can tell sometimes that a jump scare is coming on. Like, oh, and now I need to check the knitting pattern. I'll just kind of see it at the corner of my eye, and okay, now I'm back. I'm fine. Like I'm not having nightmares or anything. So
I was asked to compare it to Hotel Del Luna, and I thought the way Hotel Del Luna handled scary, it front loaded the scary, like as far as more towards the front episodes and less scary ghosty type items towards later.
I feel like if you are a scared person, you would not want to watch this at night.
Right. I've slowly taught myself how to be better with shows like this, but it's because I've made an effort and it's something I want to do depending on how a plot is. But since I really enjoy the characters and I really enjoy the female lead a lot, I love her so much. And
She's so good in it.
I even really enjoy the male lead because I like the soft con artist thing. I always have. So there's just
the con artist with the heart of gold.
Yep.
I think also just like what helps out the show is they've got great tension together. Great. Yeah. They work so well together, even in like parts when they're not like even focused on each other. You're like, you guys work. So this works out really nicely.
Yeah.
Also, I've enjoyed, it's not like romance. It's really not.
No.
And I like the tension without it being, we're dating now. Like they really, it's been none of that.
I love it. It's like one of my favorite shows that I'm currently watching, and just when I was binging it, and I was like, but I don't have any more. Like I binged it last week, and then I was like, oh no, because I started to figure out the weird episode thing, and then I didn't want to watch.
Yeah.
On last week's, so I forced myself to hold off on the one to watch the 2 episodes for this week. Torture. Why am I doing this to myself? No. Only I had waited.
Whereas I didn't know that the weird episode thing, I think it's 13. 13 was the last one then. And I was like, oh no, there's not even, I wanted to at least kind of have, because often it's kind of a little bit of an arc. Sometimes kind of near the end it doesn't do that as much, but quite often it's like an arc. I was like, no, what have I done to myself? I enjoy it. I recommend it to a lot of people, but for instance, if you think you can't handle Hotel Del Luna, probably not for you, especially later on, because it stays especially with the egg ghost thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's cool, move on, don't worry about it.
Don't look it up because you'll spoil yourself.
Yeah. No need to worry. Just keep on keeping on,
You'll know when you see it.
Yeah. I picked up The Fearless, which is a Taiwanese show, because Lego Lee was my first
he gets
Asian lead. I wanted to watch The Fearless when it came out, but it wasn't available anywhere at the time. Now I think where I watched it was on demand China instead of on demand Korea.
Oh, right. They added that.
And so I was like, it exists. I must watch it. So The Fearless involves ghosts again. And it's pretty dark.
Bit of a theme here.
Wow. Sky, look at you.
It is very dark and serious so far.
Oh, okay.
So I watched episode 1.
Listen,
and it involves dark sadness, death. Yes.
So the male lead is a part of a gang, and he kind of dies for a while and comes back. But he's also the son of I would call it a funeral director type person. But it's obvious that his dad used to be able to see ghosts and stuff like that, and try to help unrested spirits, and he would usually go to crime scenes too. So it was all these things. The son never wanted to follow in the footsteps. He wasn't able to see any of that stuff. The dad spent so much time doing all of those things. The son felt like he didn't spend enough time with his living family type stuff. So not a good relationship. But when the son dies for a bit and comes back, guess what powers he has?
Oh.
And he doesn't want them, and he's kind of freaked out. So that's the thing. And then the female lead, which as far as episode 1, they don't do much with her yet, but she is the I want to say coroner type, and she's very straight-laced. She will not sign off on a death certificate unless she feels right about the way things are going with the investigation, and everyone hates that about her because they just want to close things.
Nice.
Lazy.
Good job, lady.
So it seems really cool. I will pick it up again once I finish with like Sell Your Haunted House, Taxi Driver. I'm not quite done yet, so I need to finish a couple more things. And The Fearless will definitely be one I feel like I will need to watch during the day. Possibly. No jump scares so far, and I will admit, if you compare it to something like Sell Your Haunted House, the production value is not near as good. Pretty much.
That's to be expected, unfortunately.
You know, when he's quote unquote dead and seeing all these spirits like heading towards the afterlife or something, they're all just people in white really bad robes.
A classic caper with like the wigs go over the faces, that sort of thing.
Not even that. They just looked all just like, it kind of looked like they were all gonna go get baptized or something. I mean, it really wasn't a big deal. So, but then other things were pretty good. So I was like, just noted that some, you know, when you're watching it with something like Taxi Driver or Sell Your Haunted House, I'm like, well, this is a thing. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm enjoying that. I think we'll see if I keep with it if I can.
You're like, I guess.
And I didn't even want to recommend it to like you guys who like the darker, because I'm not far enough in it yet to see if it's like good.
That's
good.
fair.
It's nice to know it exists.
It exists, and it exists legally, and the fact that on-demand China is a thing, evidently, which it feels just like on-demand Korea, to where you're like, once you're searching it, you're going, oh, there's all this stuff, and then you have to look a little bit harder, and then you go, oh, these aren't subbed. Like, you have to an entire section of the site that like, oh, I wouldn't be able to understand what's going on. Got it. Okay. Imitation. Which I know that other people have more to say about that. I won't get into a lot. I will say it feels like a web drama. I will say that.
Yes, very much. Very much so.
And it kind of drags because it should be a web drama.
Yeah. Those episodes should be shorter.
I will say I feel like the acting is actually probably pretty decent. I just don't know if the writing... Anyway, like, it should be a web drama. Like, it should just be a web drama.
It really should.
The acting is fine, and most of the people they hired to play, like, idols, or, like, you know, wannabe idols, are actual idols, except for the two main characters.
Idols.
And it's
isn't
like...
I think he is the...
He is... Well, anyway, she isn't.
No, she's not. And it shows.
And it's like... And I feel kind of bad for her, because, like, she's doing her best, but, like, you can tell she has no fucking idea how to dance. She just knows how to sing. She just knows how to, like...
Dancing is supposed to be her specialty. Like,
and then you're
created an idol character who's supposed to be really good at dancing, and she's not?
But, and like, they have two, like, people in her group that are actual, like...
Yeah, she's in a trio.
Yeah.
Just like, ooh.
If you have one, you need to have them all, and then like you don't have to like visually. It's not jarring. You're just like, I accept this. They're all actors.
And it's so bizarre. Like, I think this is the same actress. If it's not, let me just do a very quick. One second.
She was in Parasite.
I
think she was like the daughter. I think she's the daughter who gets the tutoring or whatever.
I think she's also in Duma Your Service.
She was in a ton of stuff. Like, her MDL page for how young she is, like, she's 20, I think, and her MDL is like the length of an arm. I
think they're good actors. Like, they really are. It's
idols are doing great.
The plotting, the pace, you know.
The thing I don't like is that they do a lot of back and forth in time. Like, there's a lot of flashbacks, but they don't do anything to differentiate the flashbacks.
So, a little disclaimer, we did lose internet, so there might be a bit of a rough cut here.
That's life for you.
Yeah, it's a technology world, man. Like, what are you gonna do?
So, Imitation. You guys are having fun.
Yeah.
Like sort of. Like
I really think it's the writing. Like I think the writing is just is what it comes
it's like
down
the
to.
acting is fine. It's just not a very good show. But that's like it is what it is. It looks nice. I'll give it that. Is great.
He's doing really well. I'm quite proud of my son.
I really like when they're fake groups. I appreciate that they're actually Twitters for like all three fake groups. And the Twitters have actually been following chronologically what's happening in the show.
Which is that's fun. That's like nice. That's fun.
To where and the songs are up on Spotify. There's names.
Are they good?
They're there. They are songs.
They exist.
Tea Party song the best.
I will say, if you really want to go watch a show about idols, there are lots of other good shows to watch. So that's a thing. Mm-hmm. I really would recommend Top Management on YouTube Premium or whatever. If you haven't watched it yet, it's really fun. And it's pretty much this, but like
better,
tighter with some superpowers too. So like it's all good.
Who doesn't like some superpower stuff? Like come on.
You just and in my opinion, the music's really good. That's just a thing. But
if you want a more serious version of like sort of the issues that they talk about, the show The Producers is on Viki, but you need Pass Plus for it. So
another one that shows the dark side is Magic Cell Phone. I don't recommend that one at all because it's trash, kind of like worse than this one. Like it's not good. But if you're really, really enjoying this one, maybe you will like that one. But like I would not recommend it.
It's on Amazon Prime. It might be other places, but it's definitely on Amazon Prime.
I'm trying to think where I watched it. Like it was Viki or
I feel like it was on Netflix at one point
maybe it was
too.
Drama Fever. I don't know. Yeah, maybe been Netflix that I watched it. I don't know.
Oh, but so the female lead in Imitation, Jessie looked it up, and she is it. She is indeed in Doom at Your Service. She plays, for lack of a better term, the God type
she
character.
Plays God,
the creator type character.
Yeah. And she's
probably
excellent.
Doom's antithesis, whatever that is.
Yeah.
All right.
She's incredible in it. She's really
so that shows you like I really like her in Doom at Your Service, to where it's really the writing in this other just really
writing
is.
And the wig. I mean, I'm sorry, the wig is just it's very distracting.
There's like this one part where they make a big deal about how she cut her hair because she's starting like a new scene in her life, and then like things turn around.
2 scenes later,
she has the old hair, and they never mention it again. Like
her hair magically grew like 8 inches in a week.
Gosh.
Like, oh, okay, sure. Mm-hmm.
The Producers is also on Kokowa. Sorry, I just looked it up because I was like, wait a second. I feel like it means it's on Kokowa. But Imitation.
But I mean, if you're a big fan of like ATEEZ or SF9 or
I think it's
your
fun
boys
to see
are
them.
doing well.
Yeah.
So go watch them and enjoy it for what it is. And the other 2 girls in Tea Party, especially the one with that sort of taller one with the dark, like deeper voice, she's so good. I hope this like helps her, because I know is struggling to find her place in the industry. So she's done some like competitive shows, I think, and stuff, and not
she seems
gone
really
anywhere.
good.
But I like her, so I hope for a career for her.
So speaking of Doom at Your Service, I am watching that painfully as it comes out.
I know.
That's just the way that goes.
I know.
Because I can't not. That's the way that's gonna be.
Addictive. It's addictive. Do I know what's happening? Nah.
I really, really enjoy it. What I get distracted by, though, I catch myself the whole time going, how would I describe this show to literally anybody?
Right? I'm no matter how you describe it, it won't sound as good as it actually is.
And like, it's simply one of those. You just go watch it and see if you like it. Like I can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
The acting is superb.
I mean, as expected from those leads.
And I will say there is a lot of push and pull, a lot, and that is a little frustrating. But because I don't quite know what's going on, there's just a lot of push and pull, and I don't know what's going on. It's fine.
I'm amused because if you don't know what's going on, I have a feeling that K-Bay are probably going to pick this one up. So if you guys don't know what's going on, they're going to be hilariously confused. So that will be a delight to listen to.
They will probably come up with good, very entertaining, reasoning behind what's going on or whatever.
You still won't get what's going on, though, so don't use it as an educational spot.
Yes.
I love
entertainment,
that,
not
it also has Lee Soo-hyuk in it, and he's just my favorite, and
so
his
good.
voice is just...
I will say, between the lead couple and the second, I'm going to say second lead couple, just to...
The throuple!
Whatever is going on with that. It kind of feels a little bit like two...
It's two wildly different shows that somehow fit together.
They spend enough time on the other people that it's really like, oh, this is derailed to a different show. Not in a bad way, really, but it feels like a different show.
It feels like we're watching two wholly individual stories that take place in the same universe.
Yes.
Which normally, like, in a book series, it would be like book 1 and book 2, but they're happening at the same time. So for the TV show, they were like, we make it one book.
They're just alternating chapters.
Yeah, even though the plots are wholly divergent.
What it makes you wonder is, like, if the two ends of the, like, if something will happen to where you have more crossover. The characters do crossover and stuff, but, like, I don't know. It makes you wonder if something will happen to where everything kind of upends itself in a way.
Maybe this is all like an intricate puzzle piece, and we're not seeing the bigger picture yet, and it's all gonna come together.
I mean, maybe they didn't have enough 16 episodes, so they added filler characters, but they did it in a way where they're adding them all the way through, not just at episode 12. Now we're gonna have a completely different plot for 3 episodes.
I'm gonna be honest, like, the main plot, there's enough there for 16 episodes, like. So it's like, it's very strange. It's a very strange but enjoyable experience.
I can't say much about the main plot at all without spoiling anything. So it literally is, if you're interested in it all, right, check it out. I will say, if you cannot handle grief or anything, maybe pass. Like, because processing the idea of death is a thing. Like, that would be my one warning. Because if you are going through something to where you can't handle that right now, wait until you can. That's that. Go watch it and be lost with us if you wish.
Yeah.
Or wait until it's done to be lost with us if you wish. What else am I watching? Taxi Driver! I'm not done yet, but I'm getting close. I'm binging.
Good.
I think I'm to where the writer changes, but I haven't watched that yet, so I don't know anything.
I have completed it. I am done with it.
And I saw that on Twitter. You said that you didn't feel like the writer change was a big jump.
It wasn't a big jump. No, I know I can see where it happened. Like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have picked up on it as strongly if I hadn't known about it, but the female characters do change a bit. So, on the one hand, I like their change. On the other hand, it's kind of a little betray of their characters at that point. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do, because I don't like when you betray your characters.
Right.
Like, but
right.
So if I was to assume what the problem was probably the female characters and how they were going.
Huh. Which is interesting because like I've said, I haven't watched that jump yet. I haven't watched that change yet. To where, like, I don't see anything wrong with the female characters as they are.
No, I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I didn't hate it at all. And I don't think it was, like, a terrible jump. And, you know, this writer knew how to write to the end, which uncanny counter person didn't know how to do. Even though they want a second season, but they couldn't even go past 15. I don't know. But I don't know. Is it a spoil at this point to, like, tell you that they are pretty much planning on season 2.
Yeah, isn't there going to be a season 2? I don't think
they've been hinting towards it drastically. So because there's a lot of things going on in like 11 and 12 and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like there's poops about to hit many fans, I feel like. So
because there are things that happen, but I don't think it was the writer change based.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say anything until you're done, and then we can discuss it. I will say that like the show is like the first half is the player and the second half is Criminal Minds, and I don't know how that happened, but it did. Like there's literally this is not a spoiler because you won't be able to pick it out because there's like 8,000 different storylines in Criminal Minds, but there's a specific storyline that happens in Criminal Minds that literally happens in Taxi Driver, and I was like, what? What just happened?
I will say about Taxi Driver, so I like Taxi Driver a lot. What's fascinating, and I think I've mentioned this before because I saw someone had done research on this. As far as I know, and as far as to episode 11, they pretty much do little arcs, little plots within 2 episodes, couple episodes. That's the way they and then they have overarching plots too. But kind of like the player, you have somebody, you're doing something, whatever.
Yeah.
So those stories are based on true stories, either a singular one or sometimes it's kind of more of a conglomeration type thing.
Yeah.
But definitely even a few of them, like they even make sure the bad guy looks very similar to the actual, like, and they got really
also will say this because I don't think everybody's doing it. You have to watch past the credits. They actually show news clips of some of these people and like the people who were go missing or that sort of thing. They actually show news clips of the actual people. There's like the epilogue stuff that they kind of do at the end.
And that's
and then
important
they
too.
Do the like kind of credits and like the ads and everything, but then there's additional stuff at the end. And I don't know if it's every episode, but it's definitely a handful of them.
Same thing with the epilogue thing. It's not because I went back and was trying to check. I actually didn't know the thing about the credits, so I'll have to go and rewatch all those. I went and double checked like the first 4 episodes of epilogue, and some of them don't have it, and some of them do.
Yeah,
so,
it's a little sporadic. That's kind of the only bad thing about it. So it's like not a guaranteed at every episode, but kind of one of those things. Like you're in a Marvel movie, stay for the credits. EJ Hone's also great in this show. Let me just say,
he's really good. Yeah, really fun. But I think it is really cool how like the plots, those specific things are modeled after like real life events and stuff. I think that's. And that actually makes some of it much sadder, like knowing that's actually very sad. And I like how the show straight up at the end, it'll be like, for instance, about school bullying, report school bullying, blah, 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 like, it's not that they just make it very obvious through the plot that people need to pay attention to school bullying or whatever. They're like, no, like, then they say it at the end. So I love it. I will be finishing it soon. What else did I watch? Oh, my roommate is Gumiho, because of course I did.
Yeah.
And it is probably one that I will be kicking myself that I am not binging. But, oh well, that's the way that is. So, fun. And
it's on IQIYI?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I am appreciating the fact that, there was a show called Kiss Goblin that had this kid. He's the one from XX. So he
boyfriend guy or
so in Kiss Goblin he played a goblin, and so it's funny to see him like pop up in this Gumiho show not playing a supernatural character. But I was like, he's in another supernatural show. I'm getting a kick out of this. So
there's someone who's this is totally off topic. The kid from Chicago Typewriter that you like, Amanda. He was also in the Flower Boy Next Door.
Yeah.
He's going to be in Doom or in the Gumiho show or something. There's like
the Gumiho show, I think. Yeah, he's going to do
with somebody else. I can't
do like a cameo or something. Yeah. Shoot, I can see his face in my.
Yeah, I can like kind of see the like
little face
that I read it on. Like it's like there.
Yeah, exactly.
He was also in Strongest Delivery Man.
Delivery Man, Jealousy Incarnate. You know who we're talking about.
That guy.
Like at least
Is his name
year-ish.
MPO or something?
Yeah, it's something Pyo.
Yeah,
Go
something-
Kyung Pyo!
There you go.
Go Kyung Pyo.
Maria!
Like he kind of
Together
just
we can sometimes come up
got
with
under the
names.
military, kind of not.
Yeah.
Listen, we figured it out at the end.
So-
That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
My roommate is
Fire powers
Gumiho.
combined.
It's so silly. It's
Even the CG is kind of silly.
yeah. It's like fun silly though. It's not,
Here's what I
Inappropriately
appreciate
silly.
sometimes when there are, because since I like watching supernatural like romances or whatever they are, rom-coms probably. I like it when they straight up are like, "Oh, you're old, like you're like." When the female lead is like, "Oh, you're ancient, like I'm gonna start calling you grandpa." Like I appreciate that they
Yeah.
at least
Yeah,
acknowledge this age gap is very large, and I am fully aware of it. Like I appreciated that. I thought it was funny. But I think it's fun that the female lead, like she's a history major and like he thinks that's cool. I think that's a fun shared interest that makes logical sense with a age gap thing like that.
Yeah,
So
no, that's
I thought that was cool.
I really like there's this another character who's like a Gumiho who became human, but she had known him for 700 years, like the main character, but she's very dumb and she does like not understand the modern world at all, and he just like keeps pointing it out, and like so he'll say like a turn of phrase and she'll be like, what is that? What are you saying? What does that mean? And he's like, oh my god, like how are you still alive? Like how did you survive this long? You're like, and I just kind of like that. It's just she's so like there's just something about her character where she's like just does not get it that just speaks to me on a
And she tries to act like she knows what she's talking about. But
Yeah.
he's like, "No, you're being ignorant again." And she's like, "Crap."
Yeah.
Like I showed it again. So it's fun. Again, I should be binging it. Maybe I'll force myself to. I was pretty good about Taxi Driver. I kept
Well,
on
do you
trying
have
to
a
be like...
account for IQIY?
So I did. I have it. The VIP thing. So VIP is not needed for this one right now. They could change.
That's
their
what I'm
mind.
saying. They're probably going to change it like just out of the blue.
So sorry, I've been watching so much. There's just a couple other things. I'll be super quick. Cells at Work. I watched more of it. It's cute. If you want to watch anime where they talk about fun body stuff, it's cute.
she means anatomy, not like
Not like sex
fun
things,
body
like-
stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I mean,
like
like,
for instance,
yeah.
they
Maybe it is,
biology.
I don't know.
like I thought it was hilarious. Like one episode was about allergies, essentially,
Mhm.
like in the body, what would happen, and it was pretty much the body overreacting to allergies and how that's a bad thing.
Remember that episode of Magic School Bus where they go inside of Ralphie's body? It's like a whole series of that. Yay.
Yes. So the main people are red blood cell and white blood cell. And red blood cell is just kind of an idiot and gets lost a lot. And she keeps needing to go throughout the body to deliver her oxygen or her nutrients. And she just has a tough time. So she's like, I need to be better. So she's like, tries to pull herself out of her bootstraps and like learn to not be lost all the time because trouble follows her wherever she goes and she needs to figure it out. And white blood cell is pretty much stalking her, making sure that she's not going to die because he has to keep killing all the bad things. It's fun.
Awesome.
And platelets are cute. Every time the platelets show up, everyone's like, oh my gosh, the platelets. It doesn't make any sense, but I watch it when I'm donating platelets and all the people there think it's like really cool. So
You're like theming your platelet.
yeah. And then I always have to be like, I listened to it with the original Japanese, but there's English dubs if that's your thing. I always tell them that. They're like, okay. It's on Netflix. And I watched some Immortal Songs because Sai had a couple of episodes and they're super, super fun. Jessie's on it too. AT's is on it. Lots and lots of people
Yeah,
are
you
on
can
it.
hear me. I'm just
Say So Neon's on it. Lots of people. Sai's really cool. It's fun. So, yay.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff I watched. I apologize that it took 5 years.
that's okay. We did have to take a large break in the middle because of internet.
Had nothing to do with you. So
Yeah.
And luckily there was crossover. A lot, people were watching along with me.
exactly,
A lot
we
of these
had
things.
discussion.
I haven't started Taxi Driver yet. I was waiting for it all to finish so I could binge it. However, Lee Ji-hoon decided to break my heart regardless, and I was taken on a roller coaster of emotions from watching the show Move to Heaven on Netflix. I need to preface this by saying I do not cry during TV shows or movies. I don't. No. I was sobbing watching this show. I was so emotional that literally my husband was like rubbing my back. He's like, are you okay over there? I'm like, honey, it's so good. It's such a good show. Anyway, the basic plot of the show is...
So you have to be emotionally prepared to watch it? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
I
So I'm
watched
gonna
the
tell you...
first half of the first episode on Monday night, and I was like, "No, I am not in a place for this today." We're gonna
so
turn
I'll-
this off.
okay,
I want to
so if
cry
you're-
today.
So if you're not familiar with the show is about a 20-year-old with autism who runs a trauma cleaning business with his father. And trauma cleaning is basically you go and clean up someone's house after they've died. And then his father... This happens in like the first 20 minutes. I'm not giving too much away.
Yeah.
It's literally in the synopsis. His father dies. But since he has autism, the state requires that he have a guardian. And his only living relative is his ne'er-do-well uncle who just got out of jail, who he has never met and has never met him. And his uncle hates his father. So, because he has, like, literally can't get out of this, he's like, fine, like, I'll move in and work at this stupid company. And then it goes, like... So you
Are you crying just thinking about it?
It's so sad. So you have to work through this
Grief
that this autistic person is going through when they can't express their emotions, the way that neurotypical people can. So no one can really understand like what he's going through. And then you also find out like the backstory of why the brothers, like why he hated his brother and also why he was in jail. And then you go through all of these stories of like the people whose houses they're cleaning. And it's a lot. There's a lot happening on this show and it is incredibly good, but it's emotionally damaging, okay? Like...
Okay, let me ask this. On a Scarlet Heart Rail
it's
scale,
way sadder than Scarlet Heart. No,
There
I
you
didn't
go.
listen. My eyes were bone dry for Scarlet Heart. Bone dry. I turned it off and said, let's go out for dinner. Like this one, I was just lying in bed, like just covered in
Processing.
salt trails, being like, I don't know what to do with my life right now. It's so good, but so sad.
Did you binge it?
I binged it. I did it over 2 days. It's an incredibly cathartic show. Like,
Oh, well.
like you don't end the show feeling bad, but and it's not like you're crying because like it's not like a bad cry. It's just like an emotionally
Emotionally charged show.
Yes,
It's like how a hospital playlist would get me. I'd be like,
yeah. Like no, this one like and like I thought hospital playlists had sad moments, but bone dry. Bone dry. There's like I don't know what this show was. This show was like designed to ruin my eyeballs. Like oh my god. And the acting is so incredible. Like
When it dropped all the episodes.
yeah,
right?
all the episodes came out at once.
yeah, they've had it like as a press release like at least a year and a half ago on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like it's been out like or done for a while. I would assume that like all the stuff that happened in the world was what pushed it.
Oh, it's so good though, guys. Like And it's like, you keep thinking, like, no way could the next story of the person whose house they're cleaning be more touching than the last story of the person whose house they're cleaning is.
It's like, just
so is it,
but it can.
Is it like chicken noodle soup for the soul, like on screen, essentially?
Less pandery. Like,
less pandery.
It's more just like, these feel like real stories, and these people feel like real people. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and you know, like at every crime, not every crime, they're not crime scenes. At every like scene, he'll box up like all the things that are important to like give to the family members, and then from boxing things up, like this kid, because you know, he's sort of like, he's very good at puzzles, so he can like piece together things about their life that their family might not have known from like the trash and the objects that they leave behind. And
when I started it, I was like, oh, Jijin, he's in this. I didn't know he's in this. He's a really big name not to be in any... Wait, what's the synopsis again?
No.
Oh!
Don't get attached. Well, he shows up in several episodes, like, because they have, like, flashbacks and stuff,
Yeah.
but,
I was like, he's a really big name not to be in this poster. That's
his
odd.
character was such a good dad, guys. His character was such a good dad. Like,
such a good person.
Okay. Anyway. No. See, Amanda, you only watched the first half of the episode, so it's like you think he's a good person. He is more of a good person than you know.
I stopped because I was like, I have to go to bed right now, and like, I don't need to. I know this guy is gonna die, and I don't want to see it. So like, I'm leaving now.
It also has what's his face, who's on My Little Old Boy, plays like the family lawyer. He's like this, oh god, what is his name? He was on Walk of Love as the Chinese chef. He has like sort of a big round face. Anyway, he's great in it. Like, everyone in this show is great. It's got a bunch of people that you're like, that guy, that gal. Like, oh, nice to see you doing things. Oh, it does everything. It's so good. Okay, I gotta stop talking about it. I'm getting emotional again. Speaking of other shows that had been done for a while before they came out, I have also been watching So I Married an Anti-Fan, which literally filmed before, what's-his-face, the main lead and Chang-sub went to the military. They did their military service and are done before it came out. Like, the show was sitting on a shelf, just like, waiting for something.
Why?
I don't know. So the show is very tropey and very predictable, but despite this, is bizarrely charming, and like, I want to keep watching it despite the fact that I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Next episode. You know, like, and I just have to say, like, he's doing a great job, but they wrote Chang-sub as such a piece of shit. I'm staring at my B2B album right now. Chang-sub. They wrote him as such a piece of shit in this show. Like, from the get-go. And you're just like, okay, like, no one is this douchey. And then they bring in Sung-hoon as his older brother, who's an even bigger douche than he is, for, like, one scene. And I'm like, what? Sung-hoon?
I'm like, ooh, I'm interested now. What?
It's like, anyway, but like, it, as you've never seen him before, as a piece of shit. She's delightful. Like, the show is charming. It's like, I shouldn't like it. Like, I'm just like, this show is not good, but it's charming. It's well made and it's charming.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, and
man.
it's like,
shows just grab you, and they just happen.
You know,
just let it be.
Okay, so I'm also watching a bunch of Chinese shows. Okay. So I'm finally given in, and I'm watching Word of Honor, okay? I was literally watching it all day today, totally ruining my friend's Netflix recommendations while I was dog sitting. So I was like, we gonna watch Word of Honor. There are like 5 billion characters on this show, and they have a very short shelf life for the most part, but you gotta keep track of them all. And I am semi-lost, but I am like enjoying it anyway because it's so pretty. And it's just like, ooh, swish swords, hee hee hee, how fun. And like, ooh, they're, like, they're flying through the air. This is so delightful. Like, ooh. But I'm just like, what's going on? I know that guy, listen, I know that guy is in love with that guy, even though they just met. I know that. And I know there's an evil
Politics,
prince, maybe.
evil?
There's a bunch of
Something?
like martial arts sect people that sometimes like each other and sometimes hate. There's a ghost tribe. Listen, I don't know what the hell is happening. I don't know what is happening at all. There's like 2 billion characters, but I'm here for the ride. I am actually really enjoying it, despite being
lost.
At the same time, I don't think the plot actually really matters all that much, because it seems like a basic MacGuffin plot where they're all after this like magical artifact called the glazed armor that looks like a little pendant thing, and it's just like, oh, they're all after this glazed armor that went missing. I'm like, aha, MacGuffin, I know what's happening here. Like, perfect, I can figure this out. It is on everything, by the way. Like, it is on, I think, YouTube. It just got added to Netflix. It's also on Viki. They want you to watch this show. It's on WeTV, maybe? No. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. Might be.
They want you to watch this show, okay? Like, listen, you can watch it literally anywhere. They want you to watch it, man. Okay, so I'm watching a bunch of other things. Because, I have no self-control.
You're watching Love in Time.
I am watching Love in Time. I am also watching She Is the One. I'm 14 episodes into that.
How's that one?
Me too.
Okay. It's like the less charming Love in Time. So the basic plot, not really, but like kind of. The basic plot of this one is that there's like twin sisters who, when their parents got divorced, one went to live with the mom, one went to live with the dad.
Parent trap.
This is a vague parent trap, but not really. So the one that went to live with the dad is like super smart and like successful, and the one that lives with the mom is like a PE teacher.
Yeah, like a track star or something.
Yeah, or something. Anyway.
But not really a star.
So the dad arranges this like political marriage between the smart sister and this like businessman so that he can save his business. But then she takes off because she doesn't want to do it. So he forces the dumber sister to like come and take her place.
And she does it because her older sister or her sister told her once that she was in love with the son of the Lin family. So she thinks this is the guy her sister's in love with, and that her sister has just gone missing. She wants to hold the for her sister.
So she's like, well-intentioned about this.
She thinks she's helping,
not realizing that this guy has a estranged brother. Okay. But anyway, he thinks that she's hilarious and great. But she doesn't know, so she also doesn't know what he looks like. So she doesn't know that this guy who she thinks is like her
doesn't show up to the wedding. So
he doesn't show up to the wedding. So she thinks that like this guy is her husband's secretary, and he's actually her husband, but like he doesn't tell her. There's so much happening.
It's set up like it's a contract marriage, but it's not really. It's a mistaken identity story where he thinks she's her sister and she thinks he's his like cousin or something.
Yeah, like works for her husband or something.
But it's kind of, I don't know. It's not. When I started watching it, as soon as I started tweeting about it, I had like 6 people in my mentions telling me what trash it was and how it dropped it by episode 5 and it's so full of tropes and it's, but I'm like,
these are all accurate statements. But like it's really not the worst thing I've ever watched.
No, it's not as bad as it could be.
People can enjoy whatever they want to enjoy.
Yeah.
What's kind of funny to me is that so far all the things are there, but in a way that makes you go, but are they? Like, the brother is like, oh, he's evil. He's like, I'm gonna show the old man. But like maybe what he's going to show the old man is that he's actually really good at business because he started his own company and like he's not like trying to destroy the company. Maybe he's just trying to run his own company. And like
there is actually something I do like about this, where there's like a layers of mistaken identity happening. So he doesn't realize, like, the main dude doesn't realize that she has a twin sister, okay? So he thinks that she's her, but then very quickly realizes she is not the brilliant economist that she's supposed to be. So he then thinks, like, oh, her unscrupulous businessman father created a fake identity to, like, make her seem more appealing to, like, my grandfather so that he'd agree to this wedding. And he's like, but you know what? She might be dumb, but she's my dumb. And I love her anyway, and I just gotta convince her. So he just, like, is, like, rolling with it. So he's kind of stupid, too. Because he's like, wait a second, like, she's a renowned, like, economist, but this girl, like, doesn't know how to, you know,
like
do anything. Yeah. Anyway, it's something.
There's a funny scene where she meets the estranged brother for the first time, and like she thinks he's the husband that she's married, that she's never met yet or whatever, and like they're having this whole runaround conversation where he's like, what? Okay. Yep, no, you should totally do that. That sounds like, you know, and he basically gets in the car and like, I don't know if he calls her, I think he calls her sister, and he's like, these two idiots deserve each other. Like,
Yeah,
basically, he's like, this is hilarious and we are going to have so much fun. Like,
so this is the one that has the same second male lead as Love in Time, playing the old childhood best friend from back in the pumpkin country. He's actually quite a delight in this one. He's not as annoying because he shows up at the beginning, not in the middle. Okay, so I'm also watching. I don't know why I'm watching it because I'm not like enjoying it, but I'm watching it anyway. Beloved in This House. It's basically your tropey, like.
I was wondering what that was about.
So this like struggling metalsmithing company gets a new investor.
I thought you were gonna say like metal rock band, and I was like, and already like in my head, as soon as you said the title of the like show, it just like made me think of like some like ghost that's just walking the halls because her sailor husband left and didn't return. And I was like, I am on a ride with this.
Now I need that drama.
Yeah.
No. So this failing metalsmithing company gets a new investor who comes in and bans all relationships in the workplace, because that's legal.
Because like, that was totally the thing that made them struggle.
Making this metalsmithing company. No, but I don't mean like bans people dating each other in the workplace. I mean bans anyone who works there
from having any sort of
romantic relationship. So if you're married, quit. And two of the people there were literally like going to get engaged that day, so he like ruined their plans. So anyway, the manager is like, I'm gonna take this guy down, but like for some reason him and the manager live in like company housing together.
This sounds like a rich man, poor woman.
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is, but with two dudes. But then also like this, the rich dude is like a bit of a germaphobe too. There's even a really hilarious, like, I don't know if this is supposed to be a joke or not. Like, I don't know if this show is supposed to be satire, but it feels like it. Like, so he's like a germaphobe, so he goes into the new place and he has like gloves on as he's like cleaning everything. And then it literally shows him showering with the gloves still on. It feels like the show feels like a joke. Like, it feels like a joke, so which is why I
wish there was some. I really want shows that are satire to have some like symbol or something to be like, this show knows that it's satire. It's okay.
Like, because like I can't take it serious. Like, and he's just so over the top, like just douchey that you're just like, what is happening? Like, anyway, the show is ridiculous. I'm only on episode 3, so like, because that's all that's out, so I can't really say if it gets any better. But,
Are they super short, like those 10-minute episodes?
No, I think one second. I think they're like half an hour, I think.
Wow,
Yeah,
getting longer episodes for like a not
minutes.
great one versus the really good shows.
Just so bizarre. I was also rewatched because I saw that they added it to Viki after Amanda mentioned it last time. Princess Jellyfish, which is one of my faves of the Japanese TV shows. Very sweet, very cute, fully subbed on Viki. It's about a group of socially awkward women who live together in a share house, who all have different obsessions. So, like, one of them is obsessed with old men. One of them is obsessed with trains. One is obsessed with like traditional Japanese dolls and always dresses in a kimono. One is obsessed with like ancient Chinese battle tactics. And then the main character is obsessed with jellyfish. And then while traveling in the outworld, she stops by a pet store where there's a jellyfish for sale, and then realizes that there's another jellyfish that if they share a tank, the little jellyfish that she passes every day will die. But she's too socially awkward to like communicate this to the pet store owner, who thinks that she's super weird. Okay? So in the share house, an important note is no men are allowed in the share house. This is important for the plot of this show to work. So then while she's trying to communicate to this man that the jellyfish will die, this very stylish woman appears and like helps her out. And so she's terrified because she's scared of, not awkward people, because she never is around people who aren't socially awkward. But like, because she helped her with the jellyfish, they end up back at the house, only for them to wake up the next morning and her realize that it was actually a cross-dresser and this stylish woman is actually a man. So then she has to like hide his identity as a man. And then it turns out that there's also a redevelopment plan, that a big corporation wants to buy their house and turn it into like a shopping center. It's so heartwarming. It's so a bizarrely heartwarming show.
Many hijinks.
Yeah, it's very silly in the sort of the way that Japanese shows are silly, like that sort of thing. And,
Side note, do you think that redevelopment happens as often as it does in these
shows? It can't! It's not possible for... Well, it is, actually.
It is, because there's so limited land that, like, you would just be redeveloping everything,
Yeah.
It's not like here where you could just destroy forest,
Yeah.
Yep.
Expanding out.
Yeah.
It's got a kooky cast of characters, and, It's a delightful little show.
So did
it's
it
only
start?
10 episodes.
Did it start as a manga? Or did
Yes, it
start
was
as
originally a
anime?
manga, then it became an anime, and then it became a live action.
Okay.
So I also rewatched Way of the House Husband, the jdrama, because that's also one that was a manga, then it was a jdrama, then it was an anime. So it did like a little reversal there.
The way it's animated.
I don't like the way it's
lame.
animated.
I don't like that.
A lot of people really dislike the way it's animated.
I don't.
Which really kind of bums me out because I
story
really love
itself
the
is
manga.
Cute, but
Yeah. But
the way it's animated is to be like it's
The
supposed to
manga.
be. It's supposed to be pretty much a visual novel. Is the way they tried to make it look.
But it's literally shot for shot the manga, so you can just pick
Yeah.
up the manga. You're getting nothing new out of the experience. But the J-drama, they actually do take quite a lot of creative license with plot and things. Like they literally add an entire like daughter character that doesn't exist in the manga or anything. But like it actually works really well. But I think what makes the show work, because it's so over the top ridiculous, is the main actor is so good at like
Being creepy.
no, it's like it's not so much that he's creepy, it's just like he does things that would be creepy if it wasn't so bizarrely endearing because you know where he's coming from. So it's like most of the show is him doing nice things, but because he looks scary, people always misinterpret everything that he's doing.
I'm just saying, the actor has to be able to look creepy while doing those things.
The actor was so good. Like, it's so over the top, but like, in a really good way, you know? It's like, because it's supposed to be, so it's not like you're watching something that's supposed to be like this serious Yakuza drama. Or like, why are they doing slapstick? Like, no, it's meant to be slapstick, so it's really enjoyable. And if you get the opportunity to watch it and you like that sort of thing, it's quite fun. And also watching Kingdom Legendary War, which is coming to an end this week, but that is more music related.
Yeah, it ended today, didn't it?
Yes. So I haven't watched it yet because it is not subbed yet.
Right.
I know who won. I'm not gonna tell you.
Listen, I don't really care who won because it's a meaningless competition with no prizes.
My favorite tweet that I found was, it listed the rankings, and the rankings were, it was all the groups number 1.
All the groups number 1 and number 6, Mnet.
Mnet, yeah. Which to me, that's about right. So
it's listen, the show is very frustrating to watch because you watch these absolutely startlingly incredible stages and you're like, holy shit, that was incredible, like each one is better than the next, like they're all incredible, and then it's just like, well, nobody really liked like SF9 stage, and you're like, how did nobody like that stage? It was incredible.
It's like, who are you talking to?
It's like,
nobody who what
like, who is saying this? Like, this is all nonsense. Like, you can just go on YouTube and literally just watch the performances. But it's actually even more fun to watch the performances with the reactions of the other people watching the performances because they're so wholesome.
And what's nice is on YouTube, there's both versions. You could watch it with reactions, which when that happens, they keep playing parts of the performance to just to sort of sync it up.
Or
you can just watch the performance. Yeah. I remember the first time I ran across it, I was so confused when they got things like that.
Yeah. I will warn the faint of heart that last week's episode featured SF9 performing their own rendition of Taemin's Move.
It was good.
And let me just say, I'm not sure how that passed broadcasting standards. Just putting that out there for anyone feeling a little thirsty in the evening. It's a pretty wild stage. Anyway,
she's fanning herself.
Woo. Anyway, that's basically what I've been watching. What about you, Jessie?
Well, not as much as everybody else.
Okay.
Mainly because I've just got back into like watching stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like the first part of this month, I literally watched all of Station 19 because I did. I don't know why.
Listen, you did, and that's okay.
I did. It's and when I say all of it, I never even watched a single clip of it. So it's just like, it's here. I've got Hulu. Anyways, I don't know that I would like recommend it, but whatever. If you like Grey's Anatomy, I guess, see your firefighter.
Oh, it's about firefighters. I was about to be like, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, it's about firefighters, but like not. It's like
kind of like Grey's Anatomy, like not.
Yeah, it's a spin-off of Grey's. It has the Miranda, the one got her husband leaves the hospital to become a firefighter, and it's about that station. But for the most part, they're not. Very little firefighting actually happens. They mostly take take care of other things and not fires. So I was like, I thought they did more
kinds of things that Grey's Anatomy's doctors take care of when they're not taking care of patients.
But it's more of watching paramedics do their job, but not it's very bizarre. Okay. I mean, it's fine. It was fine. It was fine. A thing. We already talked about Taxi Driver. Watched it. Really liked it. I finished Voice season 1 because I am on a massive.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
Every weekend now, I have to watch a season of Voice so that I am prepared for Voice 4. Not that I think it will matter, but like
No.
in my head it works out.
Yeah.
So last weekend was finishing voice 1. I did it. It was good. There were some parts I was like, we didn't need it. Also interesting enough, so like voice is about like this woman who's got like great sensory and can hear a lot of stuff, and she's a emergency operator. This is also a show where you don't actually see people doing the job because they're emergency operators, but they spend all their time basically being like, if you take Garcia and Reed from Criminal Minds, that's what they do the entire time. They literally just like do all the research for the cops when they're on investigations. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be like getting calls from people who are like having heart attacks and stuff? Like, what's going on? It was fine. It was like interesting, and it's got like a lot of thriller, and it's like, you know, got a good serial killer. And so like you have all this like other stuff that you're like very interested in, because it like starts off, this is an old show and it's the first episode. She gets a call from a woman and hears her murder on the phone, and is trying to track down, because she actually like hears a lot of the stuff that's going on, and it happens to be a police officer's wife, and so that police officer is tied in. But also the big thing, which they kind of put on the back burner, which I wish they hadn't, because she's the main character, so her storyline was just as important as his storyline. But like the other thing is that her father is a police officer, and she called him specifically to get there because she knew he could get there faster and stuff, and he ends up getting killed by the serial killer, and she's on the phone with him. And so they're both trying to find it because they both have invested, but like her father backstory kind of
disappears.
It disappears, it comes back, but like I'm like, she's the main character. Like I like, it's sad about the woman too. She did stuff. There's like more to the story, but it was fine. I kind of wish it was more of like a procedural, so you could actually see what goes on in the emergency thing, because I was like trying to see if it was like different than like here or what I know of here. And I don't think we're ever going to see that in voice, because I searched. It was actually really hard to find, because I actually did like take some time to like Google search like if I could find like someone talking about like the description of the job. Most of the time I just got like articles about how, if you're a foreigner in Korea, how you call and get, you know, help. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I just needed to know. But what I found, and per the fact that like you only have to have a high school diploma, I don't think anything that they're doing in voice is like what they do in the regular. Like to the point, I mean, like they all are like, they're very much poised as like police officers almost, but like that's definitely they don't go through like a training like the police officers do. So I would have liked to have like seen like an actual thing, and so like maybe some of the stories like involve them doing like the mundane things, or like things that weren't part of the story, because it all of it's part of the story. You don't get like you know, phone calls from people that are not part of the story. So that was like the only kind of part about it. But it was fine. I really liked it. It was good. She's great in it. The other actor is really good in it. If you're a fan of Super Junior, Ye-sung's in it. He's the one. He's the kid who's like really good at computers, so he's always like cracking codes and like
the classic character.
Yeah, like the classic computer hacker who's, and you know, he's supposed to be taking phone calls about people like, you know, breaking their legs, but like, you know, he's just
also a hacker.
Hacking. Right. So it's good. So hopefully by the time you are listening to this episode, I will have finished voice 2, because I have to do that this weekend. And I don't know anything about voice 2, how it like ties together, because I'm fairly positive voice 1 was supposed to just be voice 1. There's no sort of like indication of a voice 2. So
it ends pretty
so I have no clue about voice 2 and how it plays in greater scheme of things. And then in current stuff, Dark Hole, I'm up to as much as I can so that like next week I won't have to watch one episode. I'll have the last 2 episodes. First 2 episodes were amazing. I like literally they were X-Files episodes. And I'm not even joking. They were literally what you would find plot-wise and just the way that they were done exactly like an X-Files episode. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just joking about like the black alien oil like and being tied to this show, and it's like maybe
Guess what? You're
coming
not
true.
joking.
And I'm
You're
like,
not joking.
oh my gosh. And then it got really boring. Like really boring. And it's kind of gotten back, but we're at the last quarter of it. So it's mostly a meh show.
What were they doing when they were being boring?
Not a lot of stuff. It's just like roaming around because so it's like definitely a survival horror. And so they split up. There are some things that happen that are like actually spoilers, and I can't tell you, but are parts that I think should have been cut out. So, but like they split up, like so it's like what's his face from Stranger, and like a couple of the cops are doing like one thing, and then the female cop and like other survivors are doing another thing, and then like sometimes the zombie people will come, infected people will come, and then they'll go away, and it's largely boring and just not doing anything, and then this other stupid stuff. It would have been a great movie.
I hate shows like that.
It's so sad because this is like it was primed to be such a good show for me, and there are some things, and they are doing other things. I'm like, yep, this is exactly an episode of the X-Files now. So it's like someone on the writer has to have liked or watched the X-Files because there's like parts in it I'm like, it's a little too close. It's not as good as the X-Files.
You're like a little sus.
Oh well, but it'll be over, so I'll have that done. And then we talked about So Your Haunted House. Really love that. I was trying to get all those done so that I could like have like by next week when everything's like going out, I'll have like Darkhold done, So Your Haunted House, and I'll have Voice 2 done. So that's a lot of like the chunks of stuff. So then
look at you knocking
and
things
Taxi
off.
Driver.
Yeah, Taxi Driver. But yeah, I just wanted them all done before I started some other things because I'm gonna go back. I started Youth of May, and then I put it aside so I could binge it because I knew I wanted to binge it. Absolutely love the first episode, so I know I'm gonna love the show. Like, probably gonna cry, but like, whatever. I think
it's going around these days.
Ends next week. It ends very soon, so my binge can commence. I want to get back on law school and start Doom at Your Service. I just haven't done that yet. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Not a lot, but a lot of stuff. Like I was, doing binges where it was like 8 episodes of Sell Your Haunted House in one sitting, I think.
Listen, we are a judgment-free zone here.
Well, and what about your Korean horror thing that you're doing on your blog?
I'm not really watching a lot of stuff.
Oh.
At least not
Never
now.
mind that.
Just talk
I mean, like, I'm writing posts, but not, like, watching stuff yet. I probably will. Like, I definitely will be watching a certain drama that's on Netflix that shares something with voice very soon. So, that's, like, next month problem.
Gotcha.
But also like the June new shows, there's like hardly anything that I want to watch. So I thought it was the perfect time. To just get all the ones that I kind of started and get through, especially with all the voice stuff.
Yeah. We're moving into the summer, so assuming that the government lifts restrictions and we're actually allowed to go to our trailer on the weekends or whatever. Like there's a bunch of dramas that I've started that I'm sort of like, oh, well, Netflix, so I can download the episodes and have them for like at the trailer and stuff. So I'm like, now I'll watch the stuff that's on Vig, or I'll, I'm trying to like
it's
sort of
really
similar,
nice
like
not waiting on things. Like now I'm like like on Dark Hole and like So Your Haunted House, I'm like, wait Wait now.
Waiting for those
Ah.
damn subtitles. Like, it wouldn't be so bad if we weren't paying for it. You know what I mean? Never mind. I don't want to harp on Viki. We do every time. I'm gonna stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Some
But,
other things about
you
it
know
right
what?
now.
Speaking of no subtitles, today I watched a ridiculous movie with no subtitles, and I still pretty much understood what was going on, but it's
Uh-oh.
a 3-hour
Does that-
Indian movie called Ajooba about a man whose mom is a dolphin. I'm just gonna tell you, like,
Is it good if you can figure it out when it's not your native language?
let me say this. This movie would make a phenomenal animated Disney film. Like, phenomenal. It has everything it needs. I mean,
However-
there's a dolphin mom. Like, what else do you need? But it's basically like like palace politics and stuff. And something with, like, basically, I think the woman, this woman has her baby, and the king and queen, like, take the baby because I think the queen's baby dies. So, like, I'm not even sure they know that this is what's happened. I think the vizier switches the baby or something.
Vizier!
But then he can't let the lady know, so, or, like, you know, blab, so he throws her out a window. She falls to her death, except she doesn't. She lands in the water and then jumps out a dolphin. I don't know how. They don't explain it. The
But
dolphin.
it's also
Mom's
in
a dolphin.
another language.
I know, but like, no. The reason I'm watching it, it's on YouTube with no subs, but like the whole thing is up there on YouTube. And I'm watching it because by the book, who is Indian, was like, no, this is it is bonkers, but like you have to watch. Like, oh, there's no subs. She's like, you don't need subs. Trust me, just go
You're
watch.
like, not
You're like,
necessary.
okay. And, I mean, one of the benefits of no subs, I don't understand language, is that I'm watching it at 1.5 playback speed. They're moving real fast, but like I'm still the story, right? So that's fine. And then like the vizier like steals the magic necklace of the fairy godfather. This is like in the first like 20 minutes. They have like so there's like a big like a
Oh my god.
like a christening, kind of like a name ceremony or something for this baby, and the fairy godfather kind of character shows up to bless them with all this stuff, and he gives the king a sword, and it's magical, and the king stabs the sword into this big stone pillar, and nobody can get it out. The only person who can get it out is the true heir. So we're doing sword in the stone now.
King Arthur.
And then the seer steals the magic necklace from the fairy god. So now he has the power, and he overthrows the kingdom. The king gets wind of it, and so he and the queen and the baby escape. And only they don't, because magic carpets, and they come and they like come for them, and they destroy the boat. But
Oh wait,
dolphin
mom! Dolphin mom! We brought it
Dolphin
back.
mom pushes the baby in his little reed basket to show where a man finds him and raises him.
So now
So
we're
you
going
got
like,
Moses.
First Moses.
So you've got
ever.
Moses now.
Oh god.
We have Alice in Wonderland because they find a potion that makes them shrink and grow.
Incredible.
So it's hilarious.
So what you're telling us is this
basically-
movie has it all.
Everything is basically he grows up to like Robin Hood Zorro character who, you know, like
Another one.
who fights against the evil vizier.
And let me
who's,
guess.
You know,
He goes and he finds the sword and he's able to take it out of the pillar.
ta-da! So you know, it is a wild ride. One of the comments that I saw about it was somebody said, you know, in a movie about a guy whose mom is a dolphin, the least believable thing is the fact that there's the main character is like a 50-year-old man, and he's supposed to be playing this like young rogue, like and you're just like, like at one scene, I mean, with not having subtitles, there's one scene where this woman comes in and I'm like, who is this character? He loves her so much. And he's like, oh, is this supposed to be his girlfriend? Because she looks like she's supposed to be old, but like he's supposed to be young and actually old. So like, I don't know.
Time and age are meaningless.
What's going on? And somebody goes, no, that's his mom. And I'm like, but it's a dolphin. What? When did she stop being a dolphin again? I don't know. But anyway.
Listen, I'm sure if you had subtitles, you would have
wild.
known how she came from dolphin to woman once more.
To be honest, I'm not sure you would. Like, it's not a particularly well-made movie, but it's very, very long.
Is it older? Like, when was this movie made?
Yeah, it is. It's older. Like, I think it's from the 80s, maybe the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild, but like, that it would make a great Disney movie. Like, you cut out a lot of the bits, like in the growing big and small section, when the two guys, when the maid and his best buddy are super tiny, like the one ends up in the bra of like one of female leads, like, and you just see this like movement in her shirt because he's like nestling down into her boobs. You probably get that from the Disney version, but you know, hey. It's wild. It's called Ajooba. It's apparently speak to any Indian film fanatic, they will be like, yes, Ajooba. Know it well.
Ajooba is a thing.
It has been. There's a big scene where he wrestles a tiger, but it's very clearly just a stuffed tiger that they cut scene like of him going like this, and then they'll show like a
tiger's face,
a tiger
like a
from
video,
like Animal Kingdom or something, and then they'll be like back to like.
I always love those.
In the movie Shanty they spoof that scene in it, so yeah, like it's well known enough that it has spoof scenes.
That's fun.
It always kind of, every time when I see something like that, it always kind of reminds me of Batman the movie, where he's fighting the shark, like the exploding shark, but like it's very like, so they'll show like a shark in the water, and then it's like the shark bites his leg, and it's him, and he's punching the shark, but it's like the most clearly like rubber foam like shark.
Yeah, there's
oh boy,
special effects are not good. But, but again, Disney could fix that with their animation. So, yeah. Listen, did I waste my time today? Yes, I did. I do not regret it. So, whatever. I started watching Coffee Prince. Finally.
Yay.
I'm episode 12, 13, something like that. I'm kind of like at a, like it's home stretch, but it also feels like, okay, what are they gonna do now? Because like,
and kind of there's
part where like he knows she's a girl, they're happy together. I'm like, so gonna do crap now, right? It's gonna be shenanigans.
It's an older drama, so
or I could just turn it off and be like, hey, everybody's happy. So that's what I did. I mean, I haven't like dropped it. I've just like put it on the shelf now because I'm like, I'll watch other things. And one of the other things that I'm watching has hour-and-a-half long episodes. So, Racket Boys started this week. It's really, really good. It's really enjoyable. It's by the same writer as Prison Playbook.
Oh.
And you can really tell because there's that same thing where sometimes you think something's going to go really wrong. Like in Prison Playbook, there's scenes where you think something really bad is going to happen, but then it turns around. Either it's funny or it was going to be something bad, but it gets stopped in time. Like nothing really bad ever kind of happens. And so it does that thing. It's a little goofy. Also, it's high school. It's kids in high school and sports shenanigans, but it's one of those where like it's really a story about small town, like big city kid moves to the small town. It's sort of all those small town things that we liked about When the Weather is Fine, like the quirky character and the kind of found family, like village comes together kind of stuff. It's got all of that, and then there's sort of sports in the background kind of thing. Yeah, I like all the characters. It's got the male lead, well, like the boy man lead is the same as Move to Heaven. It's the autistic boy from Move to Heaven. It's interesting because I started them both on the same night, and I was like, I did not even realize it was the same kid. I'm like, he kind of looks, but like, didn't even make that connection until I went to put it into my MDL, and I was like, oh, it's the same kid. Like, okay, cool. He's a very, very different character in both. So, it's kind of wild. It has little surprise moments, and sometimes the surprises are like silly, and you're like, aha, you got me. And sometimes they're like, wait, no, and then like you're crying all of a sudden, and you're like, I was not expecting to do that today. So, all right, but yeah, and the episodes didn't feel long. Like they're an hour and a half, but they didn't feel like they dragged. So that was good. But it also doesn't leave you with a lot of time to watch other stuff. So,
also, just life things. Whenever you watch those type shows, like, oh, that was a lot of time that just passed. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Like, I basically watched a movie tonight, so I guess that's it. It's not like when you watch a cdrama and you can bang out, 4 or 5 episodes in one night.
Right.
So, plus it's currently airing, so you can only watch what they give you.
Yeah.
So, I am almost done Sweet Home. I very, very close to done. I'm in the home stretch. I just need to watch the end of episode 10 now. So I'm there. So it's good.
You did it. You made
Did
it.
Yay.
We're here.
Yeah, my kids aren't going back to school until September, so
Oh.
I'll be like going into my room with my tablet and in the door and just be like,
Being
hey,
like,
you know what? I'm folding the laundry.
I need some me time right now. Me time.
Me and the monsters. That's what I'm doing right now, kids. Knock before you walk in. I started, I think it's called Mad for You.
I started that too. I forgot to mention that one.
I wound up dropping it about halfway through the 3rd episode. I know people who are watching it who really, really liked it. And it's good. Like, I'm not real comfortable with the tone of it, given the subject matter that they're covering. It's a lot of mental illness.
I was gonna give it a little bit of time to see if the tone changed or something, because I only watched the first episode and a half, so I didn't get far enough to know tonally if I was comfortable or not.
It's a struggle for me to see how this becomes a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And his character has anger issues and screams at her a lot. And she has post-traumatic stress disorder. And halfway through the 3rd episode, you find out why and what has caused it. And it is incredibly bad, very, very disturbing trauma from a man. So, yeah, I was like, no, nah, I'm just not into this. And it's not to say it's bad. I know a lot of people are enjoying it. So hopefully, for me, it's walking a line. Right from the start, you're like, these are mental health issues.
It's towing the line, right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's constantly kind of towing that line, and you're like, I don't trust K-dramas to deal properly with these kinds of situations.
Even in episode 1, just to explain, with the mental health issues, it's almost like they are making them jokes a little bit. Sometimes, other times it does seem like they're taking them seriously. They are going to counseling. They show how it is dampering them from having normal lives. But then other times it's almost played for laughs. And that turn is disturbing one way or another. It really is. I wanted to check it out because Akmu's Lee Seokhyun, she's in it as a side character. And even I I got pretty fresh. I think it was episode 1. So you meet her. She's a convenience store worker, a student, obviously, probably a college student of some sort. She encounters a flasher, and like that, you can kind of tell that was mostly played for laughs too, and that wasn't okay.
Kind of the whole tone of drama. They see her. It's like she's shouting for help or something, and then leave it and goes away.
Yeah,
I fully expected that the next time we saw her, she was going to be a dead body, because somebody was going to have killed her or raped her or something, because the tone of the drama is kind of a darker tone, but then also funny, and
it's really a strange
it's
tone
just,
to it.
you don't know what to expect. So you don't
And
know to be funny
given the track record of how K-dramas have handled mental health as a theme, and it's very much they're using it as a theme. I mean, I will say from episode 1 at least, the psychologist is good.
Yes. Yeah.
She seems good.
Yeah, she's not like some of the psychologists that you see in these dramas where they're like, you know, they're laughing at their patients. Like, she's not doing that. Yeah. She's, you know, she's trying to help them reason through some of their stresses and things. So she seems very good. But the when they started in the 3rd episode going deep into what the trauma was for her, I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like, I just don't want to watch her trauma. I'd be fine if they just told me what it is or showed me maybe a brief montage of flashback, but they like just basically time jumped into the past to show me her entire story, and I was like, this is hard to watch, and I don't find it entertaining. So this is my entertainment, and I'm not going to do this to myself. Yes. So if you're watching it and you're loving it, that's
totally
cool.
Fine.
Good too. Like, some people can't do the, you know.
I think it's very important for any type of show, if someone, you know, if something is triggering, or like for me, I don't even remember what the title of the show was. There was that one show that, because of the way the main female character was handled and how people were kind of harping on her so much, I just couldn't handle it. Sometimes it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to have a reason. You can just, I'm done. Like, that's fine.
Exactly. And I think that's what I tweeted, that I like that episode 3 should come with trigger warnings. And yeah, I had a couple of people say, exactly. That's exactly how I felt watching that episode. So be forewarned if you're interested and you think you want to try it out.
It definitely wasn't charming from the get-go. Like,
no.
Totally.
So another one of those cases where like the trailer makes it look like they kind of both have like anger management issues and then kind of come together in their anger, and that is not what it's. So
she's terrified.
She's scared of everything.
Yeah.
Everything in her life terrifies her, and she has this big angry man living next door to her who gets angry about everything she does. So it's not fun to watch. Not for me anyway.
Yeah.
No. It's a shame I like that actor.
So I started watching All Fixed Up in Seoul. There's
only
3 episodes, so I only watched the first episode, but I really, really enjoyed it. But
I think she's fun.
She is, and I like. Basically, it's a fix-up show. Like, it's a reality show. They find like a crappy, horrible house that's been abandoned. There's something like 3,500 houses in Seoul that are just abandoned. Like, they're just empty, and no one will go live in them. And they have these girls who apply to be on the show. And then she has these like 3 teams of architects who come up with different, you know, they each find an abandoned house, figure out whether this would work for the couple or the, you know, the client, show them the houses, and then they pick one and buy it. You know, pretty typical stuff. Like, it's kind of weird. The way they sort of advertise it is that if the host is like involved in it, like that she's actually doing the demo work or she's helping with the redesign and stuff. She does nothing. She's just a host. Like, she never, she
well,
through the house with the clients or the couple once decided on the house and is like, ooh, this is quite the house you've chosen. And she talks to the architects, but she doesn't have to do anything with the design or anything.
So the interesting part of her, like, she's known to be a fix-it type person. Like, she does, she has the ability to do those things too. That's interesting that they don't capitalize on.
Not in the first episode anyway. Like, it's not even like, usually those sorts of shows, they have the montage scene of, the hosts and stuff, like with the sledgehammer taking down the walls and stuff. Like, she didn't do any of that. But also in the first episode, the house the family picks has black mold everywhere through the main level. So it may have simply been a matter of like you had to have professionals in and you couldn't be in the building. So but it was just really, I don't know, it was really enjoyable to watch. The house that they built in the end was phenomenal. I mean, it was a really neat looking house. It took a lot of, as these shows always do, it's gonna cost more money. We didn't expect this.
Yeah.
We didn't, but
I always love those shows, like especially on HGTV, like the friggin' House Hunters, where it's like wife Brittany is a dog walker, and husband Brent is a professional airplane, paper airplane contestant, and their budget is $2 million. Where are you getting this money?
Well, here's the secret about House Hunters. They already have the house. The other two houses are literally what just is listed at the time. They've never been in it. There's no other option. And you can see some interviews where people literally go into another house and they're like, well, we already paid for the other house and I like this house more.
That sucks.
Oh my gosh.
But they always have, they already are claimed on their one house.
Yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise
their decision,
me,
because sometimes there's a decision to not even move or something.
Because you wouldn't have, in most markets these days, you wouldn't have the time to go film and make your decision. You either buy the house or you're
because you have to pay the
right?
person that you're going into the house of.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious about where these people get all their money.
I know.
Real sus. It's real sus.
So I wanted to mention about this Fixed Up In Seoul show. The host chick, she's also on another show called, I think it's called I Used to Be a Car. There's 2 seasons of it, and I've only watched an episode or 2, but I watched it because it's people that do camping stuff. So they take their cars and they renovate them in various ways. And she's there with 2 other hosts, and one of the hosts is her best friend, and they go camping together all the time. And she's her friend's kind of like the party, fun decor person. And that chick is the fix it, build the tent, make all the things person. And then you have this younger dude who he's just kind of there to be eye candy funny, I guess. I don't know what he's really there for.
The man candy.
Random young dude who's kind of funny. So they go and visit all these people's little camper car things. And so I think the first season's kind of during the summer, and I think the second season was cold weather camping stuff, showing various stuff. But it was just interesting for these actresses to be talking about they're very fix-it, and their interests outside of their work and stuff. I just thought it was pretty cool. So that chick's very interesting. I think she seems like a really nice, down-to-earth person.
Yeah, she makes a very good hostess for this, because she clearly knows what she's talking about. So when the architects are talking about doing things, she's she gets it. She doesn't seem like she's just over or anything. So that aspect of it is nice. And actually the first family in the first episode, they are big campers, and so they need to incorporate storage camping gear. And it's they go through their apartment and they're like, oh, they said they're camp, but they camp they see all the storage that they have in this house for their stuff, and they're like, oh, okay. All right then. Because they go what's kind of neat is they go and like these architect teams go and like look through the couple's home to see how they're using the space that they have now, so that are creating a space they can better visualize and create
customize a space
for
for them.
the couple. And so it's like a couple with two small girls, like I think they're like 3 and 1 when the show starts, and then they're a little bit bigger than that by the time they finish.
And then they're 15.
So I mean, it's wild. Like they have this house in the like on a hill in the mountainside, and like the road goes like this to get to it, and it juts out kind of over the road and stuff. And they're like, okay, but you know, this is okay. It's okay. This is cool. And then when they go to start the renos, they find out that, yeah, actually they literally built the house over the road lines. And because it was like back in the old days that they built this house, they were like, the government was like, I guess, you know, we'll just make the cars drive around you. But now that you're renovating, you have to actually build within. So they had to like knock like a third of the house off. And like, you know, instead of having a corner like this, now you've got like a slant like up the.
Golly.
And they're like, and what sold them on the house was that they were going to have a little yard, and they had this big terrace. They had to knock the whole terrace down. They lost the yard, and they were like, do we still want this house? Like, it's, we lost all the things we like about it. And I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about, I started watching Sell Your Haunted House with my sister after you guys talked it up so much last month. So it's like, okay, cool. And my sister wanted to watch it too. So we're watching that together. We're on like 11.
Oh my gosh,
so.
I have another show. Sorry, the Sell Your Haunted House thing finally broke through my memory. Seeing blue. Sideline in my head. 2, there's this show called Summer Guys with the other Seeing Blue guy in it. And it's a show. I think I watched 2 episodes. I don't remember how long they are. I want to say 30 minutes. Summer Guys is talking about a bar. That's the name of a bar.
Okay.
Was it on Jeju Island? The whole thing is paid for by like Korea tourism stuff. So the whole point is to see the beaches and to see
the classic caper.
Hey, go tourism. So that's really the thing. So Summer Guys was already the bar ran by cute girl that I've seen at other shows.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm
she's
looking
an
at
idol
her right now, and I'm like, yeah, that girl.
Mina? Is that
Mina?
her name?
Yeah,
Mina. Cute ears, that girl.
Yeah.
The character's parents ran the bar called Summer Guys. Anyway, then Machinations, there's these 3 guys that show up. One of the guys is the blue guy.
Classic paper, a classic
You can tell he's probably going to be the lead. One of the other guys is the guy who's a musician, and he goes by Vinny. Yeah, he's in it. Then there's this 3rd guy.
He was in Cafe Kilimanjaro. He was good in that. Okay.
It's obvious that people want to like get rid of the bar. A fire happens. All machinations, whatever. It's not really all that engaging, but you get to see drinks being made. It's cute. They renovated the bar. You know.
All right. Sounds good.
There's 10 episodes.
I knew he was in something, but I didn't know what.
It feels almost web drama like, but I guess, you know, the tourism people wanted to really make something pretty. And it is pretty. The plot is there. Kind of.
It exists.
Anyway, that's Summer Guys. It exists on Viki, I believe.
Oh, okay.
If you feel summery and want to see that.
Fair enough. Yeah, Racket Boys. That's of all of the things that I'm watching right now, that's the one that I'm like, can't wait for the next episode. Well, and Sell Your Haunted House, because I'm quite into that as well. But I have to wait because we're group watching it. So you have to coordinate things. I mean, I don't have to. I could just turn it on and watch it, but that would be rude. So I don't. Because I don't want to be that person
Very magnanimous of you.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been another much longer than I thought it was going to be episode of the Certified Nunas What We're Watching. Thank you for listening to us. Just a few reminders. We have the K-Pop Social Night Podcast Festival coming up in July. Buy your tickets now. They're on sale. It's going to be a good time. We're having a panel. It's going to be super fun. We have new merch on the website, certifiednunas.com. Including metal water bottles. They're pretty nice if I do say so myself. And if you want to become an official sponsor of this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednunas to join the Certified Found family. Yay, we love all of our fan family over there. They keep the lights going on the podcast. You know how it is. Thank you for listening. You can find us wherever podcasts can be found, but if you want all the links to everything that we talked about, you can go to certifiednunas.com, and every episode has a blog post entry with all of the pertinent information and time code. So, thank you for listening. We hope you have a fantastic week and keep enjoying aged entertainment. Bye!
Bye!